Hello, my name is Dante Renee, and welcome to the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more. Like tonight's film, this is 1975's All Night Long. This one right here, 1975's All Night Long. And this stars a few people here. We have John Holmes, we have Sharon Thorpe, we have Patricia Lee, Esther Walker. To be totally honest with you, it stars a whole heck of a lot of people. There are a ton of people in this film. Of course, we have some people that are highlighted the most, but we do have a large cast in here for this 80-minute film from 1975, directed by Alan Kohlberg, who also directed a film that I could be looking at in the future on this YouTube page called Tapestry of Passion. So All Night Long is a hardcore film that obviously stars a pretty well-known person in the world, John Holmes. So let's get into this film here. This is something really, really special, especially in regards to feeling almost like a like a something you would tune into late at night flipping channels if you had certain channels. You're going to see my eyes divert. I have some notes written down here, stuff in my face. So here we go. Now, right off the bat, it almost sounds like the music for like I Love Lucy, like the old TV show. It almost has that type of music. And we enter into a gala ceremony of sorts, almost this old-fashioned gala ceremony. Do you remember like the old everybody would get dressed up, the old roasts, like with Don Rickles? Those it almost has that type of vibe. And not the new roasts. I'm talking about way back when Don Rickles was like in his 30s. We have an image of red roses in this film. We even have Buck Owens in this film. Buck Owens is such an interesting character actor, or was, because he showed up in so many low-budget horror films like Sorority Girls and the Slime Bowl-O-Rama. There's too many to mention. But he also showed up a lot in hardcore films. But he wasn't having sex. He would just be in them as like a side character, and he's in here as well, and he always kind of plays the same type of vibe, and he has such a great, funny, almost like hicky type of vibe. He always kind of plays dumb. He's in an amazing 80s film called American Scream. Too many to mention. But I will mention that his daughter, Veronica, Veronica or Verncona, something like that, Owens, was in a lost teen sex comedy film called Summer Camp. And I believe I looked at that on this YouTube page. It's been a long time. But she is, I mean, you look at Buck Owens and you're like, oh, this guy's so funny looking. But she was far from funny looking, let me tell you. I always thought she was super hot. And, but that's his daughter. She only did a few things, and then I believe she did movie makeup after a brief stint at acting. Now, what we have here is we have a sex awards show at this like old-fashioned gala ceremony. And we have comedy and satire, and it's like an adult award show. Now we have these modern day porn award shows like AVN and whatever, and I don't know much about those, like, but I know from what I've like seen of them or read about them or whatever. But this has an like old fashioned vibe to it, and it's satirizing award ceremonies, but it's also satirizing an adult hardcore award show. And we have dark humor in here, like pitch black humor on abuse. And we have old triple X movie clips at the award ceremony, almost like you would see movie clips at like a the Oscars. And there is the idea and the theme in here of satisfaction in making others sexually happy. So there's that theme. You get being satisfied, even being satisfied sexually in making somebody else sexually happy. But there's that element in this film that's very interesting on, but what about making women happy? What about just focusing on women and making them happy? And that is something that's really interesting, because even within hardcore, there is no proof that a woman comes, but you have your proof that the man does, right? Just like each and every one of us on this earth is proof that our dads came, but there's no proof that our moms did. Whether or not our moms did was not necessary at all, So it's that type of thematic aspect in this film all night long that kind of resonates around. It permeates around here. We have also funk, 70s, rock, and jazz in this film musically. And all night long, you have a kind of, it's like the context of an award show all night long. So this is literally almost like if it was a pay-per-view event back in the day, but it's all night long, and it's an award show, and it's an actual race into different homes and worlds. Okay, a sex race, almost in some ways. It's like a game show, like a hardcore game show, but two guys gallivanting into different homes that are designated as part of the race, using their cars to get to these homes. And these homes are literally different worlds, different sexual worlds. Now we have interracial sex in here, which is really pretty spectacular. We have ejaculation sound effects in here, which is really interesting. We have the schoolgirl angle in here, which is pretty amazing. Leather S&M suspense, which is like kind of crazy. That like I said, each home is a different world, so you're entering into a different world in each home. And you have, so you have like the schoolgirl aspect, and then you have the interracial aspect, and then you have all of a sudden this like dark leather S&M aspect, different homes for different experiences for each guy. Is the guy, connecting with these girls? Is he really liking them, or is he just focused on the race? What about the girls? Are any of these girls really like falling for the guys, but they just have to kind of let them go? You might think that at one point. And we have sexual depletion in here, like the film Cheerleaders, the original, which I've looked at on this YouTube page, and like the film Little Miss Innocence, which I've also looked at on this page. So you have the sexual depletion of men, okay? Can it kill a guy? All you ever hear about is that stereotype of, you'll see it in movies. I'm blue ball, and you're gonna kill me if we don't have sex. And then you have this angle in films where it's like sexual depletion. Too much sex will kill a guy. It won't kill the girl, but it will kill the guy, right? And maybe that has something to do with the fact that we have evidence of him coming, as I mentioned previously. Okay, female pleasure is the focus in here, though, thematically, and the fact that that's unique is also weird. Like, that shouldn't be unique, right? But that's the angle that All Night Long takes. And we have a nighttime adventure through neighborhoods and people. It almost gave me Terror Vision vibes. Late nights, neighborhoods, the mysteries behind each door, the fun, popcorn night. That movie Terror Vision with the purple creature from outer space and the swingers. It gave me, and the sex art in Terror Vision. but it gave me that kind of vibe, you know, the adventure through the neighborhoods late at night. And then we have this hippie fireplace scene, sex scene in this film, which is super erotic and super like hot and intense. I think it's the most intense sex scene in the film. It's this like hippie with a fireplace type one. And then we have John Holmes with two girls, which is also super intense. Really, really awesome if you like that. But if I think the hippie one is like the best. And it's like some of these people I've never seen before, which I always kind of like that. It gives kind of a like more of a less of a star quality vibe and then more of an amateur type of vibe, which works in hardcore for me at least, and it also works in horror for me. And you have the award ceremony watching all of these two guys racing through different homes. Like they have this camera footage of every home, and they're watching it the way award shows, you know, watch clips of movies, or if it's a game or horse races or whatever, people are watching them and betting or whatever. But you have all the adult stars at the award ceremony watching the proceedings on this little television screen. You know, it's like really ahead of its time. And they're getting turned on by watching it at the award ceremony on the screen. You know, they're pleasuring themselves, they're having sex with each other, but they're getting aroused watching the race on the screen as we, the viewers, are getting aroused watching all night long on our screens. And you want more. You want more. You know, with this film, you just keep wanting more and more, I found. And that's a good sign. Women are telling men they love them during sex, and then the guy gets like pulled in and connected to them. Now, this happens sometimes in this film, as I briefly mentioned. That's the opposite of what typically happens, like stereotypically with gender. Like typically the guy says he loves the girl during sex just to rope him in. But in this case, the girls are saying it, and that's roping the guys in an intimate fashion, connecting them, you know, to the girl and not wanting to leave the girl and feeling more than just sex with the girl. That's really unique. And with these almost feminist themes in the film, women win at the end. The women win at the end. This is All Night Long from 1975, right here, folks. Thank you so much for watching.